Hi there, and welcome to the first video of our new channel about everything Navy. Today we will be speaking of the Re Galantuomo, the first Italian steam-powered ship of the line. Re Galantuomo represents perfectly with her history the birth of the Italian Navy. Before 1848 Italy was divided in many different kingdoms. In that year the Kingdom of Sardinia declared war to Austria in the attempt to free and then annex Lombardy and Veneto. The Piedmontese army was defeated, and the idea of a united Italy sunk even before a real start. In 1859–1860, a combined campaign by Garibaldi and his redshirts in the south and the Sardinian army plus French forces in the north, kick-started the liberation of many territories in the name of a united Italian state. The main kingdom in the peninsula was the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, rich and ancient, which lately had invested a lot in the idea of a modern navy. They even owned a steam-powered ship of the line named Monarca, but when the Redshirts conquered Naples and the Bourbon king fled the city, Monarca was added with the new name Re Galantuomo to the ranks of the Sardinian navy, which by 17 March 1861, with the birth of the Kingdom of Italy, had become the brand new Regia Marina, namely the Royal Italian Navy. This is a huge simplification, but in the end it just served to introduce the two main souls of the first years of the Italian Navy, the Piedmontese and Bourbon influences. The name Re Galantuomo came from the nickname of King Victor Emmanuel II, which translates to the Gentleman King. It was changed as the previous Monarca, meaning king, in the Neapolitan Navy was referred to King Ferdinand II as his bust was the ship's previous figurehead. The ship was built in the royal dockyards in Castello Mare di Stabia, near Naples, and launched in 1850 with the name Monarca by the then King Ferdinand II. It was commissioned by the Royal Navy of the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies in November 1852. It was designed as a three-deck ship of the line with 84 guns, wooden hull with copper-plated keel and only sail rigging. The armament consisted of 50 30-pounder guns, 28 Pikesons howitzers and 6 Miller 60-pounder guns. When it was first commissioned it was the biggest ship in Italy, but the fact that she had no steam engine made the ship already outdated as the Napoleon, a 90 guns battleship, was launched in France 2 years earlier with a steam engine, screw propeller system. To resolve the problem 6 years afterwards the Monarca was fitted with a steam engine from Maudsley and Fields with 330 kilowatts of power and a double-bladed propeller, but the armament had to be cut down to 64 guns due to weight problems. When Garibaldi's redshirts arrived in 1860 in the Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, a plan to attack the Monarca in her home port of Castellammare was implemented using the steam-powered frigate Tuckery. The Tuckery entered the harbour at midnight and tried to attack the Monarca with 3 launchers, but the attackers were eventually discovered and the frigate was forced to retreat. On 6 September 1860 King Francis II of Bourbon fled Naples, but the crew of the Monarca decided to remain in the city and hand over the ship to the Sardinian Navy. The ship was renamed Re Galantuomo and her figurehead was changed. She participated in some battles of the Second Independence War, and on 17 March 1861 the ship was marked in the ranks of the newly born Italian Navy. In 1862 she was refitted with a new 4-blade propeller and gained a speed up to 9 knots. In 1863 the ship crossed the Atlantic to New York to pay a visit to the shipyards where the new ironclad Re d'Italia was being built, and during the return passage the vessel met strong gales and very rough seas. In 1864 she was refitted to operate as a training ship. In 1866 she was docked in Taranto to review her guns. The ship was left with only 47 guns but of a newer model with rifled barrels. In the same year she patrolled the Adriatic and Ionian Sea during the Third Independence War. Then Commander Simone Pacoret de Saint-Bon, an important figure for the future of the Italian Navy, took command of the ship at the end of the year. In 1871, while she was moored in La Spezia, 2 lightnings struck the ship, luckily with no damage. The ship was paid off in 1875 and used as a pontoon and then scrapped. The world-famous training ship Amerigo Vespucci is inspired by the design of the Re Galantuomo. Her figurehead, representing King Victor Emmanuel II, is currently in the La Spezia Dockyard Museum. The ship Re Galantuomo was awarded the Silver Medal of Honor for the bravery of the crew through the storm met during the crossing of the Atlantic Ocean. Hope you enjoyed the video and, if you did, hit the like button.